right, well, welcome to the start of our show. Now, our first guest is an author, and she wrote this book. It's called Drive Time. You know her from television here in Boston because of her wonderful segment, Help Me, Hank. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hank Phillippi Ryan. Welcome, Hank.
What a great audience you have.
Thank you, Hank. You know, they love you. Did you hear that? They love you.
I love them too.
Now, we know that you've been on Channel 7 News for years. You're an investigative reporter. Now, we know that the catchy phrase, help me, Hank, we remember that, and that's what we think about when we're talking about your name. But you're more than just help me, Hank. You've been doing a lot of investigative reporting over the years.
I have been a television reporter for 30 years.
Wow.
It's actually more than 30 years, but that sounds like a lot. So 30 is good. 30 is good. Mm-hmm. And I have wired myself with hidden cameras, confronted corrupt politicians, chased down criminals, sat on stakeouts for hours and hours drinking bad coffee. But we try to make a difference in, you know how that works. We try to make a difference in the world. We change laws, we change lives, we try to bring some justice to the world.
And we were talking downstairs. You actually have won, I want to say, 23 Emmys?
26
26 Emmys. That's fantastic.
You do that on purpose, don't you? You let me say 26.
I build them up, Hank, because I'm good at doing that.
I know it.
Now, let's get to the reason why you're here. It is because you are a creative person. Not only are you an investigative reporter for the news, you've written this book. It's called Drive Time, and it's actually one of a series of books that you have written about a certain character. Why don't you let the audience at home in the UK and now in the US know about your book?
Well, I am really, Steve, the poster child for following your dreams. And that's why it is so nice to be on this show with you, because I think we have kind of this simpatico thing going, where we're both really following our passion and really doing what we always wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a mystery author ever since I was a little girl and read my first Nancy Drew. I mean, you read Nancy Drew. Oh, did you, or the Hardy Boys?
Both.
Okay.
Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I think a couple times they crossed over.
They did. We won't go into that. Nancy Drew, you read Nancy Drew, right? The clue in the old clock and the clue in the diary, which I thought was clue in the dairy for the whole book. I'm reading it thinking, shouldn't there be cows?
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be? Anyway, and I moved on to the wonderful British women authors of the Golden Age, Ngaio Marsh and Josephine Tey, Agatha Christie. I mean, I devoured those books. There's really nothing better than those wonderful British women.
I know in my house we had those Agatha Christie books all the time. My brother was reading them when I was a kid.
And they're fantastic, and I was hooked on them. But my career sort of took a different path. But one day at work at the TV station, I got an email, and I opened it up. It was a spam. You get spam, you get computers, terrible stuff that clogs your email. And I opened up the spam by mistake, and the subject line said, "Our new refinancing deal for you." But when I opened it, it looked like it was lines from a play by Shakespeare. And I thought, why would there be lines from a play by Shakespeare in what's clearly a spam sent to millions of people about mortgage refinancing?
Right.
And it crossed my mind, and I get goosebumps thinking about this because I remember the moment so perfectly. It crossed my mind, maybe it's a secret message. And then I thought, oh my goodness, ding, ding, ding. This is my idea for the plot of my mystery, a plot that I've been looking for, I mean, literally 40 years.
Right.
40 years. I knew I had my idea. And from that moment on, I was obsessed with writing a murder mystery about secret messages in computer spam. Who would do that? How it would happen? Who would solve the crime? And that turned out to be Prime Time, which won the Agatha for Best First Mystery.
That's
so
fantastic. They say it's great to be nominated, but this book actually won the Agatha. So now the new book that you've written is an Agatha nominee. So this is the fourth one, right?
It's exactly. There are four books in the series. They're standalones. You can read them in any order. Drive Time, the newest one, is about what really happens to your car in valet parking. I mean, you take your car someplace, you give your keys to somebody you don't know who is, and you say, here's my car, I'll be back in 3 hours.
Right.
Now, is that smart? Would you do that ordinarily? So as a mystery author, I'm always asking, what if, what if, what if? What if something else is really going on?
I actually would only do that with a rental. Because
Well, I mean it.
it's a rental.
Exactly, and there's rental car problems in this too. I promise you, when you read Drive Time, you will never look at your car the same way again. Not your own car, not a parking lot, not a rental car. You will never look at that world the same way again.
You know, the spam ID that you had in the beginning, it reminds me of my dad, who would call me up constantly and say, hey, Stevie, some guy in another country has $1 million for me, and he just wants my name, my address, my telephone number, my social security, and I always say, no! Because we know that's spam and it's fake.
Very
not to
wise.
do that.
But that spam has changed my life. That spam idea has changed my life because after all these years as an investigative reporter, which I still do and I still love, I got to turn to my passion of writing mysteries. And who'd have thought that would happen?
Yeah. It's great when you figure it out. It doesn't matter when in your life you figure it out, but when you decide this is my dream and I want to go for it, and you do, great things do happen, and I always say that.
Well, I have a motto on my bulletin board that says, leap and the net will appear. Leap and the net will appear. And it just means that you don't want to wake up one morning and say, oh, I wish I would have tried something. I wish I would have done that. You want to be the one to have followed your dreams. So my mysteries are about a smart, sophisticated investigative reporter, successful in Boston, shocking. But you know what? She's 46. I made her younger than I am because I am the author and I can do whatever I want. So I made her 46, but she's smart and she's successful, but she's married to her job in television. And she begins to wonder what will happen to someone who's married to her job in television when the camera doesn't love her anymore. And she begins to, I know, it's not that funny if you're the one.
Yeah.
And she
Well, I don't think the cameras ever loved me, so I don't have that.
well, then you don't have that worry. The camera loves you.
Yeah.
So I tried to write, and I have written a fun, fast-paced, airplane book, curl up on the beach with a cup of tea, page-turner of a mystery about Charlotte McNally, this 46-year-old reporter, who's sort of searching for her place in the world and looking for the story that will save her career so she's not replaced by somebody younger.
I look forward to reading it.
Thank you. Then you have to call me as soon as you do. And
I will.
It's about television. You'll get it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, I loved it. Is
Now,
this all the time we have? You are so good.
Before we go, let's just tell people at home where to get the book. I know you have a website.
Yes, my website is my name, cleverly enough, HankPhillippiRyan.com. So if people like Sue Grafton, Lisa Scottolini, James Patterson, Harlan Coben, those kinds of fun, fast-paced page-turner books, I think they'll really like these.
Thank you so much for coming. We
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hank Phillippi Ryan. The book is Drive Time. You can find it online. We'll be right back right after this.